Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you one of my favorite recipes for wild game. Wild game poppers. These things are awesome over a campfire, in an air fryer, or on the grill. I guarantee you if you don't like wild game, you're still going to like this. So I've got some deer and some waterfowl here. You can use anything. You can use duck, deer, goose, anything like that. It doesn't matter. You can use any type of wild game. So you're gonna start off by cutting these into little chunks. You don't want big ones, just small little chunks. Something very similar to that right there. And just cut them up and throw them in a bowl. So when you're cutting these, make sure you do them pretty uniform. That way when you're cooking them, they're all getting done at the same time. Now that you have your meat all cut up into uniform pieces, I like to marinate mine. It's not a necessity, but it just gives it a little bit more flavor. I like to use this Cattleman's barbecue sauce, and I'm gonna just dump about half the bottle on this meat. And really work it in there. That way it covers all the pieces. And now that you have all those pieces covered up with that barbecue sauce, put some saran wrap over it and put it in the fridge for a couple hours. While the meat is marinating in the refrigerator, I'm gonna start prepping some jalapenos. So when you cut these, I'm just gonna cut the end off, cut them in half, take the seeds and the insides out. Should be left with something like that. Now you can cut these up as big as small as you want, but I like to do just smaller pieces. Something about that big. Now that you've got your jalapenos all diced up, you're gonna want to cut your bacon up. Now I use thin sliced bacon, and I'm gonna cut it into thirds. If you use too long of a strip of bacon, the bacon doesn't get done, but the meat inside of the popper, it gets dry. It just cooks a lot better when you have just one wrap around the popper. Just cut it right there in the package. It makes it a lot easier. Now that it's been a couple hours of the meat marinating, it's time to start assembling these poppers. You're just gonna need some toothpicks and some cream cheese. So I like to start off with taking some of the bacon and just laying it out. Take your piece of meat and just put one in each piece of bacon. And then we'll put a jalapeno on there to give it a little bit of a bite. And then we'll top it off with a little piece of cream cheese. Once you got those assembled, you're just going to start rolling them up and putting toothpicks through them. And there you have it. You should have something very similar to that. I've got a whole lot more to make. All right, I'm finally done. Got a pretty good little mess of poppers here. I got the air fryer here. We're going to taste test a couple of them before I package them up. I put them in for about 4 minutes. And then after that, put some barbecue sauce on them and put them on for a couple more minutes, and they should be done. Now, if you're cooking these things over a campfire, these are amazing. They just open up, and you can pinch them right in there, and that way you don't have to individually flip them, and you can just flip them like that, and you can flip them all at once. Makes it a lot easier. Make these on the grill, on the smoker, in the oven, or obviously in the air fryer. So I like to package these up for camping trips and just freeze them. They're just as good right out of the freezer. What I typically do is get some wax paper, put it down into a little Tupperware, and just start stacking them. Once you got a layer down, put another piece of wax paper in there and stack on some more. The reason I'm putting this wax paper on is because if not, and I stack them all together without the wax paper, it's just gonna all freeze together. There you go. You can just put that in the freezer, and whenever you're ready to eat them, let them thaw out and throw them on the grill. Throw a little bit of barbecue sauce on there. And and put her back in for about 4 or 5 minutes. Ooh, buddy. Now that looks good right there. All right, let's give this thing a try. Man, these things are so stinking good. It does not get any better than that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I gave you an idea of a way to use some of the meat you got laying around in your freezer. If you try this recipe, let me know in the comments below. If you like anything outdoors, make sure you check out my channel. I got a lot of videos. As always, you guys take care and we'll see you next time at JP Outdoors.